36. Do you think that played a factor finally, or was it just Madrimov's style?
I think it was the style. It was the style, and he had quick feet. He had a quick right hand too. So, you know, I think the rounds that he won it was just because of that right hand.
Well, Mac, was there ever at any point, because some people had it a lot closer, you know, through the fight, even though it turned out to be obviously 7-5 on the 2 cards. Did you in the corner at all feel like Terence was behind and you had to push him to?
No, I never thought he was behind. I knew the last 3 rounds. I know I had to, you know, all the instruction was out the window. It was like, come on, man, we got to work a little harder. We got to grind a little harder. So, I wanted to. I knew he had won some rounds, but I wanted him to put a stamp on it, so we wouldn't have no doubt.
What was the game plan?
Just boxing, hoping he'll run into something. And you know, he ran into a few good shots, but he got a chin on him. And yeah, he's tough as shit.
You said Terence showed his chin too because he took a good shot.
Yeah, he said the dude was strong, but he wasn't strong like knockout power. Just physically strong.
And in terms of fighting at 154, facing an opponent that could take Terence's power for 12 rounds, do you see yourself staying at 154 for a while? Because there's been talk of him pretty much immediately moving on.
Well, we'll see, man. We'll just go back to the gym in a couple weeks and try to figure it out. You know.
I think Turkey said that he wanted the Canelo fight after this Crawford. I mean, is that next or?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They'll talk to the lawyers and find out what's going on.
As a coaching accomplishment, you know, Terence became a 4-division champion from mighty to super middleweight. How does that feel like as a coach?
Oh man, I'm gonna have a few drinks and probably soak it all in.
Well, do you think there's anything that Bud could have done better, or anything that he didn't do that you would have liked to see done?
I wish he moved his head a little bit more in the southpaw stand. You know, he didn't have to get hit with those right hands and shit. Even though it didn't hurt, I told him in the corner. Even though that shit don't hurt, dog, it still looked good to the judges. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, he got dog in him, so he picked it up towards the end. No, hell no, he wasn't frustrated at all. Hell no. You see, he just kept boxing, just keep boxing, and then, but then towards the end, I told him, you got to step to him. Yeah, you got to step to him.
Seeing how he performed tonight, where he won obviously, but he lost some rounds. He got hit, like you said, ran into some shots. Had a guy with a great chin on him. That was at 154 pounds. When you look at that fight, what is in your mind if you think about the concept of him fighting Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds?
Shit, better get them legs in some shape, man, because he's gonna have to move. Get them legs in some shape. Make sure them legs are in good shape, because you're gonna have to side-to-side movement with Canelo, man.
Is that a fight you would recommend for him?
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's just, shit. Y'all know all Terence is almost done, so he's trying to get the fruits of his labor. Oh, hold on. Go, Saul. Saul, come up here. Come on, Saul. Let's go. I didn't see you sit back there. Come on.
Coach Romack, question about tactics. Bud's known to be pretty much the best switch hitter in the game. You mentioned getting hit with straight rights. What goes into the decision about staying southpaw?
You got to feel it.
The orthodox.
You got to feel it. He got to be able to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Because I could say go back to right hand, and then he don't feel it. He won't even be able to box. He box that way.
Is the Errol Spence rematch on the table still?
Man, that dude done. That dude is done. So can some of the Mexicans guys ask my coach some questions? Because he's well a part of this coach. We talk in the corner. He tell me sometimes what to say. So.
But there's somebody speak Spanish with some questions, so we can answer.
Hablando de la táctica.
Bueno, el plan funcionó. Teníamos que boxear y tratar que el Madrimov se desesperara, y sí se desesperó. Y aunque ganó unos 2-3 rounds, pero el plan funcionó.
Saúl, platícanos sobre ser parte de este equipo que está haciendo cada vez más historia al ganar más títulos.
Es una bendición ser parte de este equipo. No tenemos muchos años juntos como otros equipos, pero gracias a Dios nos está yendo muy bien. Aparte de Terence Crawford, tenemos otros peleadores que también van a estar ahí en el tope muy pronto.
Y profe, háblanos del evento. de la inversión de los Saudi y del evento del día de hoy, de la noche?
¿Ustedes se dieron cuenta del tipo de cartelera que Mr. Turkey puso? Es una cartelera que se podía haber dividido como en 3 eventos y muy buenos. Sí, entonces, pero gracias al señor Turkey porque se fijó en Terence Crawford para que fuera la cara de la compañía aquí en los Estados Unidos y muy buena cartelera.
But when you walked in, you expressed some relief at how the fight ended. Now that it's over, it's a difficult fight. So going back into the gym, but I'll probably be back in the gym on Monday. What is the mental rebuilding, or is there any mental rebuilding after having a challenging fight to get him back going?
No, I just think he'll probably be back in the gym within the next couple of weeks. I think it's cool. I think he wouldn't have to rebuild nothing mentally. I mean, to be honest, Bud loves fights like that. He loves that challenge. He just show him where he's at as a fighter. So, even though coaches we be like, man, damn, but I mean, Bud loved that shit. And in the middle of the rounds, he was, okay, singing a little bit. Okay, he liked this shit. So.
What was he saying back to you when you were expressing like some urgency that he had to get going? What was he saying back?
No, he was just saying because one of the coaches was like, it was a 10-8 round. Somebody was like, it's 10-8 round. What the fuck? Like, sorry, man, don't even worry about it. We just need to keep working. Just don't even worry about it. But I knew going into the last couple of rounds we was winning. So, but like I said before, we just put the stamp on it.
If Canelo doesn't work out, is there any chance that Bud gives Boots Ennis a chance?
Boots don't bring nothing to the table, dog.
What about the other 154 pounders like Virgil Ortiz?
If they want it, they can get it. His plan was to fight Pandora. That was the plan.
Is that a fight you're still interested in?
I mean, if they put it on the table, yeah, I'm sure.
Y profe, ¿qué piensa del peso para Crawford? 154.
Yo pienso que es un peso perfecto para su cuerpo. Él está creciendo. Ya a la edad, ustedes saben que uno madura y cuesta más perder peso. Pero también está mucho más fuerte en 154. Simplemente ahora se encontró con un boxeador muy bueno como Madrimov, pero él también es muy bueno y yo pienso que con nosotros puede también tener unas victorias claras.
Brian, in the Sean Porter fight, before he knocked him out, he really riled Terence up by giving him a motivational talk. At any point in this fight, what were the conversations you were having to have him go into second gear?
I was just tell him, man, just keep pushing him. Just keep pushing him. Our Bud about to come in, so I want to thank everybody that voted for us for Trainer of the Year. Thank y'all. Come on.
Omaha's own.
It's a lot of hardware there.
That's right. Jury shop. Kazakhstan cuisine. He ain't good.
Hey Terrence, you joined the elite crew of like Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Roberto Duran, Belo Hoya, Shane Mosley, substantive enough, Manny Pacquiao, all these guys who went from lightweight to super middleweight. Like, it's that small elite. Every single person's name is all-time good. You just look that high.
Oh, I feel great. It was one of those missions that we was on, and we wasn't gonna let nobody or nothing take it away from us.
Chad, you've moved up multiple times. How does this time, moving up to 154, compare to the other times you've moved up, 147, 140?
I felt great. It was no different from 147, to be honest. Israel just was a strong opponent, and we knew that coming in the gate.
Was Madrimov a harder puncher than Spence, you would say?
I don't know. They have their moments, both of them is very strong, but Madrimov was strong. He was strong.
How unusual was the movement, the constant feinting Madrimov did?
It wasn't like disrupting me or anything. It was his patience. He was just patient. He was just waiting. He'll feint, and just keep fainting until he get a little closer, a little closer. So he was real patient in there. He wasn't rushing in with nothing. He wasn't winging those wild winging shots like we normally seen him in the previous fights. He was very disciplined.
We're accustomed to seeing you switch between southpaw and orthodox throughout a fight, but you stuck to southpaw for most of this fight, even though you kind of kept getting with that right. Why not switch orthodox?
Well, you know, the right hand wasn't bothering me. You know, I wasn't really too much worried about the right hand. You know, he landed a couple of times at the end of the round where he was trying to steal it around. But I just was trying to counter him, but at the same time, he had a good game plan. He had a lot of feints, and I was just trying to dictate when he was going to come. And a lot of times I was wrong.
Did you feel the fight was like an offensive counter fight, like where you guys both waited and then he kind of took a stuff and you kind of like raced to each other a little bit?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, like I said, he was just waiting on me. Like, he was doing a lot of movement, but at the same time, he was trying to counter me like I was trying to counter him. So it was a mixture of counter to counter.
Did you see a lot of yourself in Madrimov?
No, I won't say all that because I was touching him up with the jab. I think my jab was beating him up all through the fight, but you know, he landed a couple of right hands that was telling for the judges to go ooh, or the fans, but it wasn't nothing that I ain't never seen before.
Was there anything that surprised you about him? Was there anything that surprised you about Madrimov's movement or anything?
No, we knew he had good movement. We knew he had good head movement. We knew he was strong. We knew he was durable. You know, if I was to say anything that surprised me, it's his patience. You know, he was real patient in there.
For someone with 10 fights, Terence, did that surprise you at all?
No.
How does he compare to the other top opponents that you face?
I won't say that he surprised me with 10 fights because you got to understand he got over 300 and something amateur fights. So he know how to fight. He know how to move around in the ring. He knows how to capitalize on people's mistakes. He's been around the game for a minute now. Just because he got 10 fights, that don't mean nothing. Look at Lomachenko and all these other fighters that's getting title shots with 15 fights, 2 fights, and stuff like that because they're on the fast track because of their amateur pedigree.
But what did you? Sorry about that. But what did you think about the Eddie's reaction to the scorecards? I don't know if you heard him on your way out of the ring, but he tried to make it seem like there was some sort of robbery or that the scorecards were wider than they should have been.
Man, you got to understand that's his fighter. You know, he's gonna say anything that he can to hype it up. You know, he knows that guy lost, and so do his team, and so do he.
Terence, can you talk to us about the sense of occasion tonight? About it was an incredible event to be at. You really soaked up the atmosphere on your walk in. You had the biggest smile on your face. It was an incredible event to witness for us in the media, for the fans. Can you talk to us about how it made you feel?
Well, it made me feel great to see all the stars, all the people that came out to support Terence Crawford and Madrimov. You know, I understand that it was a lot of talented people on the undercard, but all in all, they came to see Terence Crawford. You know, when you look at the stands and the people, when they start filling up the seats, is when Terence Crawford was getting ready to fight.
Well, was this your toughest fight, do you think? I mean, you won the fight, but
Nah.
I'm trying to think what was tougher. What was the tougher fight?
I wouldn't say it was my toughest fight. You know, I think Mean Machine was a tough fight, tougher fight than that. I think Gamboa was a tougher fight than that. I think Benavidez was a tougher fight than that. You know, I might have got the knockout, but those was tough fights in their own right.
But for years we heard.
Oh,
from
my bad.
Oh, sorry.
Shout out to Turkey. Happy birthday. Yeah. I hope you had a good birthday. You know, we put on, I appreciate you for coming to America and putting on for the United States. I hope you have a great birthday.
So for years we heard from segments of the boxing public, you were on the wrong side of the street, you couldn't fight certain people because of promotional divides. Turkey delivered not just a fight for you, but an event. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, you know, it's politics. Politics was blocking me out. A lot of the media was blocking me out because I wouldn't talk to them because they was switching up the narrative or they was wanting to be loyal to a certain promotional company, you know, and it didn't make it no better that I didn't care, you know. So we here now. Everything happened for a reason. The cream always rise to the top, you know. And if you look around, I'm the last man standing, and I was the one that they was talking so bad about.
Do you feel like you got your revenge on all the fucking mad monsters all these years?
Shit, look at me. You know, look at me right here and look at a lot of them in the same room that was talking so negative about me. They want to get interviews. They want to sit up and shake my hand and be friends. And, you know, at the end of the day, they want to say it's just business. It's just business. I don't hold a grudge against them or anything. I just say, hey, it is what it is. Everything happened for a reason. And for that reason being, I'm still at the top, and I'm still, you know, undefeated. I'm still a 4-weight world champion, a 2-time undisputed champion, 2-time ESPY award winner, you know, fighter of the year. Like, what more can you ask for Terence Crawford? I don't know. We'll see.
All right, thanks, guys.
Did the gloves bother you at all?
The gloves? No, not really. My coach had addressed some things that he didn't like about Israil's gloves that he didn't like about it. He brought it to the team attention, and of course, you know, we're gonna back our coach, and they stood on their ground and said, hey, either you can wear the same gloves, or, you know what I mean, or not. So we chose to use the same gloves. So it didn't matter.
I asked Coach the same question, but I want your reaction. Is the Earl Spence rematch on the table still, or?
Nah.
All right, we're gonna wrap this.
I'm trying to tell you. Hey, hold on, everybody. Hey, hold on, everybody. Hold on. Everybody, hold on. I want to bring the team up, man. This was a great win, and everybody on this team played their part. Come on, team. Come on, Red. Come on, Steve. Come on, y'all.
Good job, Coach. Great job, champ. Omaha's on. Northside, stand up. Come on, y'all. Come on. Huh? Come on, y'all better love him while
Ish, where you going?
Pound for pound.
Ish.
You better love him while he's here.
Ish.
You better love him.
A great fight card, very close main event. Obviously, heard what I said. I would say as well, I didn't realise there was 2 115, 113s, 1 116, 112. I thought there was 2 116, 112s. I thought Israil Madrimov did enough to edge it tonight. I know there's always the argument of dethroning the champion, whether you think that's a thing or not. You know, I'm not sure I felt that Bud Crawford dethroned Israil Madrimov tonight, but what we are is extremely proud of him. 10 fights in, and we're debating whether he won a fight against the pound-for-pound #1. Experience would have changed everything. Maybe a little bit more work rate, but it was a fight that we believe we could have edged. Respect to Terence Crawford, he's a great champion. It's nothing against him, but I was just disappointed that especially one of the judges gave Crawford the last 4 rounds. The other 2 judges gave Crawford 3 of the last 4 rounds, and thought it could have been different. But over to you guys for questions for Vadim and Israil.
Vadim, can you ask Israil, as it just reflects real quickly, what are his immediate thoughts on what took place tonight?
Какие у тебя были первые мысли по поводу того, что случилось после боя?
В первую очередь я чувствовал себя хорошо, и я думаю, я достаточно сделал все, что хотел, и я думаю, на этом бою я не проиграл. Я достойно сделал, что это Кроуфорд, паунд-то-паунд номер 1 в мире. До меня Спенс все останавливали нокаутом. Я 12 раундов я достаточно дрался, и что я на этом весе чемпион, я доказал, наверное, я думаю, и не проиграл на этом бою. Минимум ничего было, я думаю.
I felt good. I felt proud of myself, and I think I did enough. Like Eddie said, you know, Spence is really good. He's pound for pound best. He's one of the best in the world. He he's not an easy fight. He knocked out the last 10 opponents he fought, Spence and others. The best in the world. I didn't feel like it was my toughest fight. There were some questions about how easy I won my world championship belt in my previous fight, and I think in this fight I just proved why I was easy then and why I'm a champion and why I deserve to be a champion. I felt good. I feel good right now. I don't have any doubt about myself.
Do you think is there a way, even though it's the moment after the fight and you lost, I know he's upset about that, I'm sure, but to take a second and reflect, and like Eddie said, just basically went straight up with the pound-for-pound #1 guy boxer, that you can find a positive in that performance?
Find a positive?
Like find because he went so close with the guy that most people have #1.
Какие ты можешь взять позитивные моменты от этого боя? Ты был очень близок в бою с одним из лучших.
Я весь раунд контролирую, я думаю, и вот это моменты для меня это вообще понравился. Как-то я не думал, я контролирую такого боксера, вообще не думал. А так все сделал и в ринге, я думаю. И
что ты взял от этого боя?
Для меня это большой опыт для будущей карьеры.
Then, first of all, I really honestly can say that I was controlling the fight. I didn't feel like I was in danger or I was not seeing what was happening, or there was really moments that I was losing or not controlling the fight. But what I gained is a lot of experience. I fought the best, and I proved to myself that I can do what I did to him. Then I can do that with others.
It was a very absorbing, very close chess match. Do you look back? And when you look back, do you think you might have been too patient in the fight?
Как ты считаешь, ты очень был сдержанный? Может быть, чуть-чуть больше сдержанный, чем надо было? Не торопился, может, надо было больше добавлять, еще.
Что случилось? Это Бог дал такой случай, поэтому не хочу это изменить, я что-то сделал. Я все умею, я в ринге сделал, и для меня это достаточно.
Everything that happened for a reason. This is the way God wanted it. Then I could have been less, I could have been more, but to be honest with you, I did everything as we planned.
Quick question: it seemed like all week you were preparing yourselves and us for the potential of a very close fight on the scorecards. So I'd like you to respond to that, but also I'd like Israil to reflect on the moment tonight. Anything that he can reflect on in terms of the walkout to the ring up to right before the scorecards were read.
Какие у тебя были мысли? Такое было впечатление, что мы ожидали какого-то неправильного решения, может быть, или что будет близкий бой. Ожидал ли ты, что будет близкий бой? Какие у тебя были мысли перед боем, после боя?
Знаешь, на этом бою я не волновался. До этого боя я всегда чувствовал так напряженный или что-то. Но на этом бою я 100% готов был, и морально тоже готов был. Никакой волнения не было. И доказал, так и надо, как готовился.
I felt so good. I felt so good before the fight. I didn't have too much. I've had a lot more worry in previous fights, to be honest with you. We had a really good camp, and mentally I was very confident. I felt really good before the fight. I felt great after the fight, throughout the fight. In previous fights, sometimes I've had moments where I doubted or I got tired. I had no problems here. And as far as the fight being close, I mean, yeah, we didn't expect that he was going to blow him out. We expected that it was going to be close. But again, what happened is what we expected. We didn't think that Crawford was going to blow Israil out either, because we know what Israil can do. We know what he does in sparring. He sparred some guys very similar to Crawford, and we knew that Israel's style is not easy for Crawford. And any boxer who's pound for pound, best in the world, one day he meets a fighter and he's not as comfortable, and I think this was one of those fights. Maybe Crawford deserves the win, maybe it's Israil, but right now it's not even important, because Israil proved something tonight, and right now it's about going for another title. Whoever is available, whoever is going to want to fight him, going after another title. He's only had 11, 12 professional fights. And Crawford, he's probably going to go and try to unify this division, and they might meet again. And Israel's only going to get better.
And
He's
how
still
does he
young.
rate his power and his skills as a 140-pounder, given that he just moved up in weight?
154. Как ты можешь оценить свою силу и свои skills в этом весе?
Power.
Силу и
Да, я натурально на
технические
этом
возможности.
весе уже сколько давно боксирую и комфортно чувствую на этом весе. У меня есть удар, техника, еще техника как скажем, необычная для любого боксера, я думаю. И сегодня это показал.
I feel very good at 154. I fought 154 a long time. I think I have the skills and the power to remain in this weight and to dominate.
No Crawford skills and power.
Что ты думал о силе удара Крофорда и о его технических данных?
Да, у него тоже есть удар. Техника тоже хорошая. Здесь, я думаю, равный бой была, так сказать.
There's no doubt he has power. There's no doubt he has skills. I mean, I knew that, and that's why this fight was so close.
Eddie, quick question. We talked earlier this week about the one concern you had was that for all the talent Israel had was the lack of seasoning. There was the pandemic that came up, the Michelle Sorrell situation that kind of hampered it. Moving forward, can you, given the fact his profile is now raised, will it be easier if they're willing to be a little bit more active throughout the year and fight 2-3 times a year?
Yeah, they're definitely willing to be more active. But as you said, there's a number of reasons that we weren't more active. We was in the WBA interim championship. It was ordered. There was a technical draw. We feel that was a little bit harsh. Anyway, it gets made again. Then there's the headbutt and the clash of heads, and it was a bit of a disaster period. Then you become mandatory, and you're pushing the governing bodies. You don't really want to fight in between. We did have a fight, and he's definitely been plagued by inactivity. Obviously, he fought in Saudi Arabia, and not so long ago, but still, show me another fighter in the world that can go in against Terence Crawford in their 11th fight, and we're arguing whether it was 115, 113 either way. I mean, I think it's an outstanding performance, and it feels like there were more gears. That was, I guess, if there's any kind of frustration, it was just that maybe we should have rolled the dice a little bit more. But that comes with experience, that comes with confidence, and, the future is incredibly bright.
Israil, what do you think about Crawford wanting to fight Canelo? What do you think about that? I know that you stepped in the ring.
Что думаешь по поводу того, что Крофорд хочет или возможно встретиться с Канело?
Зависит, в каком весе они будут драться. Я думаю, если у Канело веса, я думаю, это тяжело будет для Крофорда, потому что масса все равно показывает, я думаю, это свою роль.
I don't know. It depends on what weight they fight in, but if they're going to be fighting in Canelo's current weight category, I think it will be very difficult for Crawford because he's massive.
The fight was still hanging in the balance in the 12th round. It could have been a majority draw if you won the 11th round. Oh, I'm sorry, 12th round on the cards. Do you wish you did anything different in the 11th and 12th? Because if you won those rounds, you would have won the fight.
Если бы ты выиграл 12-й раунд, могла быть ничья. Если бы выиграл 11-12 раунд, то ты бы выиграл бой. Ты о чем-то жалеешь, что-то мог сделать по-другому в последних раундах?
Не жалею, потому что Бог такой случай дал. Не хочу ничего изменить. Я что умел, сделал, показал всему миру. Что лучше. Перед боем все сказали, что это Крофорд остановит до 8 раундов или без разницы нокаутом. Я достаточно дрался для себя, для моей команды, страны. И болельщики, я думаю, довольны.
As I said before, it's up to God. Whatever happened, happened. If I could have won the 11th and 12th round, maybe I would have won the fight or had the draw. But I did what I could. I followed my plan. I did a lot in the beginning of the fight as well. I tried to be aggressive. I tried to take the fight to him, and obviously I exerted more energy. But maybe next time. Maybe next time. With experience, we gain, and we can do differently, and we can be better in the future.
Can you ask him, did he get tired in the later rounds? Because he said he exerted a lot of energy.
Ты был уставший в последних раундах? Ну, то есть, как почувствовал?
Чуть-чуть была, ну, 12 раундов уже я как-то энергия появился, еще уверенность еще увеличился, так скажем.
I mean, I was getting a little bit tired, especially maybe in the 12th round. Like, I can't say I was tired. I felt good, but at the end of the day, it's a 12-round fight. He's only fought 10, 11 times as a pro, so obviously he still has, he's still building his mentality as far as going the whole distance, and he's only had so many fights that went the distance.
What was the game plan? What was the game plan against Terence? Because I know it was a lot of patience early on, not a lot of, there was a lot of feinting going on.
Какой был план? Ты готов, можешь сказать, в бою с Кроуфордом? То есть много было ожидания, ну не торопиться, это часть плана была? Какой план в бою был?
Конечно, у нас свой план вот такой, не торопиться, есть свой план вот дергать и вытащить, и надо встретиться, надо было. Ну, свой план я сделал, все так и надо.
Yes, you saw the plan. It was realized. It was to be patient. It was to try to get him to do something as well, which I did, and it was to try to box him, which I did as well.
Can you ask him about the? Sorry, Steve, go for it.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Radim, could you ask him about the impact of this fight, of this event, on Uzbek boxing? He just fought a former undisputed champion, huge event. Eminem, Los Angeles, Riyadh season. It must be a huge event back home in Uzbekistan, no?
Что этот бой значит для Узбекистана? То, что тут такое событие огромное.
Да, для Узбекистана это большой бой, история, так скажем, потому что у нас государство хорошо внимание отделяет на бокс, на спорт. И вот на этом бою для наших стран это большой был бой. Сейчас все болельщики меня ждали победу, и чтобы сделать, открыть новую историю. И все равно они рады, что я провел такой бой в Америке, везде, моим, как скажем, фотки и флаги, так скажем. Это для моей страны, это гордость.
Of course, it's a very big thing for my country. Our government supports athletes and sports very much, and boxing is one of the most popular sports in the country. Everybody was watching, everybody wanted me to win. Even though I didn't get the win, everybody's already writing to me that they're very proud of me. And overall, like you mentioned, this huge event attracted so much attention. My face was all over, the flag was all over. It's a very big deal, and they're very proud of me either way.
Mm-hmm. First off, what was the attendance number, and what were your first impressions of the first Riyadh season?
I mean, I think we'd all agree it was mind-blowing, wasn't it? I mean, just everything from, Eminem was crazy, the fireworks, the ring walks, the undercard, the night. We'll get you an official number, 23-something, I believe, yeah. And just a huge crowd, I feel like there's a lot of naysayers and haters, they're not selling any tickets, it's not going, and all of a sudden, sort of, people, but it won't really be full. I mean, I think if you looked around, I think it was very difficult to find many spare seats, and I just thought the energy was incredible, the atmosphere was incredible. I think His Excellency loved the event, obviously probably quite disappointed on the Jared Anderson situation, but that was, he rolled the dice, and he wants to make compelling fights, and, I believe that there'll be another fight for Israil Madrimov in Riyadh season shortly as well.
Did you say 23,000, Eddie?
Yeah, I'll get you an official number, but Anthony will I'll get it and give it to you, basically.
Certainly, does it seem to this stretch, it's Crawford's first fight I wanted to get before. Clearly, Madrimov landed a lot of big right hands. Canelo's 2 weight classes up. Is it a bit of a stretch at this point to consider that kind of fight?
Yeah, I think, I think Terence that's a question for Terence. For me, 168 is a huge jump. When you're talking about someone the size of Canelo Alvarez. But, we have to remember that Terence was the challenger going in there tonight. And I know some of you guys don't like the narrative of, it's not about champion and challenger. But it didn't feel like, many will say a pound for pound number one performance, but you have to give credit to Israil Madrimov because his movement was outstanding, and Terence really struggled to come to terms with the movement and the skill and the right hand, especially, of Israil Madrimov.
As you know it right now, Eddie, what is the plan for future Riyadh seasons in the United States? Because we heard His Excellency talk about doing this again and again and again, but is this for different cities? Is it coming back to LA? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, right now the focus of Riyadh season is now on September 21st at Wembley, which is, 90 to 100,000. It's going to be another incredible event. Then October 12th in Riyadh for Bivol against Beterbiev. December 21st, Usyk against Fury, and then he's already got plans in February for a big card that we're building. So that's in Riyadh as well. But he's the kind of guy that's going to look around tonight and think that was special. It's a really compelling advert for Riyadh season in Saudi Arabia, what you saw tonight. And it was also a tremendous card. So there's many different aspects and benefits to a Riyadh season internationally. And I think after the success of tonight, obviously it's a question for His Excellency, but I'm sure there'll be more.
Hey Eddie, I know that you thought Madrimov won the fight, but
It's not necessarily. You can't call it a robbery. 115, 130. I did think there was two 116, 112 cards, and you might say, well, it's one round different, but I don't know. I just feel like it was that kind of fight that everyone on the front row's like, His Excellency's looking at me as if to say, "Oh my God, he's won it, hasn't he?" And I'm sitting in Terence Crawford's corner the whole fight. I can see the faces, I can hear the silence, I can see him in the 12th round scream like, you have to win this round. And when you get in the ring after, and I'm looking at them and they're going, please, 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 please. You just hope that, and I was probably a little bit disappointed afterwards, but it just would have been nice to get a split loss rather than just, and when I see the scorecards, I know scoring subjective, he was 4-0 down on one card after 4 rounds, 3-1 down on another, 4-1 down on another.
Well, my question, I just said, the thing is, being the fact that Terence did win, and it's a guy that went from lightweight to super middleweight, just what do you think of Terence's career that he was even able to compete against the
it's amazing. There's no doubt. He's a generational great, but doesn't, take away from the fact that I think on a not say a luckier night, but a different night, we might have got the nod.
After an event like tonight, like you said, it was mind-blowing. Are we going into a golden age for boxing right now, do you think?
I think so. What you saw tonight was a mixture of, you look around ringside and, it's not often that you aren't a major celeb at ringside, but tonight you were. So it was mind-blowing, just like the power that he has in terms of, attracting those big names, obviously the spend of the undercard, the whole week. We're doing an event on Santa Monica Pier on Wednesday. It's just been a mad week, and we have to raise the bar on non-Riyadh season events.
Question for
Israil.
Steve,
given your history, with your clients, and it's Wednesday we saw something else that was very disappointing, eye-opening with DSF and some of the other tough calls that you've taken. Did you have an ominous feeling, given the history of certain fighters from certain parts of the world not getting close decisions, that this could be an issue?
I think we don't have to make it a point in, speculating about a specific commission or, a state or a country. Every country has their, a little bit of a favorite for their home fighter. It just happens that way, and it's normal. Even though the United States should be something different in a way, they should probably have that edge to be very limited. But I think that if I'm the only one talking about, nothing is going to change.
Question for Israil. You really hurt him several times throughout the fight, but I'm curious, what was going through your mind as far as switching it into second gear and maybe adding more? The fight was fought at the same pace for most of the 12 rounds. Did you want to kick things into a second gear, or are you proud of kind of the game plan?
Ты хотел где-то перевести, может быть, вторую скорость какую-то включить или добавить, или где-то во второй половине боя что-то добавить, может быть, больше сделать? Или ты доволен тем, что ты сделал, и все-таки это было именно по плану?
По плану я все сделал, потому что когда контролировать такую бою против Кроуфорда, да, так скажем. Спенс или что, кто был этот, весь 12 раундов прошел и никто не сделал это. Я сделал и рад, что я все доказал всему миру, я чемпион.
No, like I said again, don't forget that I fought Terence Crawford. He's one of the best in the world, and who else controlled the fight with him 12 rounds and controlled the entire fight and was the aggressor? You know, give me another name that was able to do that.
Well, Crawford actually mentioned a couple of names that he said were tougher fights for him. Benavidez and Gamboa being the two that he mentioned. What is his thought about that?
Он сказал, что Бенавидес и Гамбоа были более сложные бои для него, чем с тобой. Что ты думаешь по этому поводу? Physically?
He was being respectful. He wasn't being disrespectful. He just meant they were tougher fights physically than it was tonight.
Он сказал, что для него не то, что неуважение к тебе, но он сказал, что для него это были более сложные бои, как бы физически.
Физически, да. Ну да, может быть, ну, они до 12 раундов, как его, 12 раундов не прошли же, так скажем, и поэтому я достойно сделал и выиграл, я, как скажем.
I don't think that those fight, like, you know, again, any of those guys, did they control the fight 12 rounds? How many rounds did they win? How many rounds did Gamboa win? How many rounds did Benavidez win against Crawford? Like, if you're objective. Not that many.
If you fought
I watched.
him again next, would you fight him in a different way?
Если бы ты с ним снова встретился, ты бы по-другому с ним дрался?
Попробуем, что не бояться здесь, потому что я чемпионом был, и теперь тоже чемпионом, потому что я все, что сделал для всем фанатам, и могу сделать еще лучше.
We'll try it, you know, we'll see if we can make it. If we can make it happen, we will see what will happen. You know, I can't predict it, but I do believe I can be even better.
But Eddie was mentioning the whole kind of cultural thing about fighting the champion and taking the champion's title. Does Israil see a difference between fighting as a champion and fighting as a challenger?
Ты видишь разницу в том, чтобы защищать титул или драться попытаться выиграть титул? Ну, то, что есть как бы отношения разные у судей и так далее к этому. То есть, если ты защищаешь свой титул или ты пытаешься у кого-то забрать титул?
Ну, для нас без разницы. Дают шанс, мы это сделаем. Какой-нибудь этот пояс или что там, без разницы. Дайте бой, большие бои. Сделаем.
Для тебя важно, если ты чемпион или ты пытаешься стать чемпионом, ты по-разному относишься к бою?
Ну, попробуем еще сделать чемпионский бой.
You know, I don't give that much attention. To me, kind of like a big fight is a big fight in a way, but that's just my personal. I'm not talking about judges right now. So, you know, I want to try to take another title. You know, it gives me a lot of motivation as well to try to take something from somebody, and I want to try to either take it back or get another title, and we'll see how it goes.
Eddie, do you think he'll be on one of those Riyadh cards you talked about?
That's what His Excellency told us in the ring. Yeah, he'd like him back, and you know, he's a very relieved man, His Excellency, because you know, he respects Israel, but obviously has plans for Crawford. So I think he knew how close that fight was today, and I'm sure Israel will be back. You know, hopefully even on the Fury Usyk card. I think nice, just a little rest now. Wasn't a physically real grueling fight. Both guys a little bit marked up around the eye, especially Terence around that left eye. And I'd like to see him back, you know, and build on that momentum now. That was a huge platform tonight, huge audience, you know, and whether it was 60-40 or 7 people thinking that whatever, a lot of people thought he won the fight. And I think that's a great achievement.
It won't be as lucrative as Canelo, obviously, but Turkey's involvement can still make a fight against Ortiz big, right? I mean, he mentioned.
Yeah, that's the fight he likes, you know. But this is about Israel, this press conference, and you know, I think one of the problems you have when you come over to create your career in America is the lack of profile for an international fighter, like from Uzbekistan, and that's one of the reasons we took this fight. is because we knew it came a little bit early than expected, but we knew how good he is and we knew that he could beat him. And even if he didn't beat him, he'd give everybody a great fight and everyone would remember his name. So now I feel like his profile has gone to the next level. We still would have preferred the win, but the stock of Israil Madrimov has risen around the world and the future is very bright.
Who's the next opponent you think would be?
You know, all of those guys, you know, he's going to want to fight the champions. You know, him against Tim Tszyu is a great fight. Him against Virgil Ortiz is a great fight. We'll see what happens with Crawford. Fundora, great fight. Errol Spence, great fight. I mean, you know, he has a name now. And that's...
Ты бы поднял 160?
Без разницы, большие бои будут, я готов всегда. Просто я хочу, люблю большие бои, сделать сенсацию, как сегодня.
I like what happened today, you know, I like big fights, it doesn't matter, you know. I can go 160 if it's an exciting big fight for everybody.
All right, guys, just want to say thanks for everything. Well done, Israel.